Yeah, man, this is Phil Watkis, and you're in tune to World Music Views with JR. Yeah? Standing to the test of time, that's how the best will shine. No need to rush, just take your time.
Yeah. Phil Watkis, my familia. I've been watching your career for years, right? One of my favorite songs from you is Rastafari. I know my friends and all my folks. But we haven't seen you. We haven't seen Phil. So first of all, tell the people, where has Phil been? And first tell them, who is Phil and where has Phil been?
All right, you know what I mean? Phil is the person before any personality and all that stuff. So I'm Philip Ricardo Watkis, yeah? And I'm originally from St. Anne, a little place called Brownstone. You know what I mean? Yeah, moved from Brownstone to Kingston. Yeah, I mean, just to get a feel of where I'm from. But you know what I mean? But Phil, I am a songwriter, I'm a singer, I'm a guitarist, I'm a producer, I'm a performer. Yeah. I actually graduated from the performing arts as an actor and a directing major. So quite a bit going on there.
Which school?
I did Excel Performing Arts and the final year at what you call it, Edna Manley, to get accredited in order for me to teach primary school and even high school in drama. Yeah.
Nice. But then you decided to focus on music. You also entered the JCDC competition. And I remember you were one of the standouts that year. This was like 05, right?
That about almost 5,000 years ago, man. 05, which part? 5,000 years ago, that brother. 2004.
Do you think competitions like those help artists or hurt artists?
It depends on the nature of the competition. If it was something like festival, the traditional sense of festival, I think it would have done a little bit of damage, because once anyone step out into the genre in Jamaica like that, festival mode, people now see you as a festival artist with that traditional mentor type of sound. But in that time, it was known as the popular song competition, which gave me some leverage, you know, because that gave birth to Know My Friends. And what it did for me, it brought me throughout the 14 parishes in Jamaica. So I think it did more good for me than bad. You know, getting a lot of interviews, getting the exposure. I mean, who in Jamaica right now putting on any tour in Jamaica going throughout the 14 parishes? So it has to be good for me. And I wish more people would do that right now, today. You know what I mean?
That's true. Like, artists don't tour the parishes, and there is a market for the 14 parishes in Jamaica, for real.
I agree.
So you migrated and you still doing music. You launched your record label. Tell us about that process from moving from just an artist to being an entrepreneur.
Well, so Radical Roots Records is my label, and that was influenced or inspired by Peter Tosh from a young youth. I was like, yo, this man is radical. Long before me even know, say, I gotta have a record label and all of them things. I'm gonna say, yo, this man is a radical man, and this is how I want my music to be. You know what I mean? So that is the influence to Radical Roots Records. And what actually propelled me to do this is like the struggle of being voiced or recorded by producer and putting out music for me. People would send me beats and I'd voice song for them, and they say, oh yeah, you're gonna make the next batch and you're gonna do this. And I say, you know what? I'm going to spend my own money. I'm going to pay musicians to make my beat. I'm gonna pay the engineer them to mix. I'm gonna voice. I'm gonna have my production done, and I'm going to release my own music. You know what I mean? And that is how I really got started. Just from the rejection or having to wait on people doing something for me. You know? So I just quit that waiting on people. The waiting game, I eliminate that and move into promoting and pushing myself forward.
In this streaming time, do you advise more artists to do that, or artists should wait upon a producer, go to a label? What do you think is the better journey for an artist?
It can work both ways, but I do believe in proper production. If you don't understand music and what the quality should be represented as, then I think you need to find a producer or get somebody to oversee your production, you know, because that is the damaging part of it. People putting out all different type of stuff that doesn't meet the standard, you know, and I think that helps to reduce the production quality and the value and the potency of the music. It kills the lifespan if the music is not properly done.
Who do you work with in terms of making your productions? Do you live produce them like Bob Marley did back in the days, or you get beats?
So I have a brethren that, and it's sad to say, I have a brethren in Serbia. He goes by the name of Vladimir Krjush. I don't want to bite up my tongue saying that last name, but it's Vladimir. Vladimir is my brethren. They makes the beat really live and everything. And other than Vladimir, if I need something to get done, I call Uncle Dean. Like, you know what I mean? I go in Jamaica and they get on the musician and they right at Grafton Studio. You know, they make the beat live production.
So Vladimir makes reggae beats in Serbia?
Reggae. I want to tell you something. Them new day youth here, make the beat them like what Vladimir make. Sorry to say. Because when I reach out to my when I reach out to my own people, I feel me now go available until another 3 weeks for the cause. I'm well busy. Hey, grant you that they're busy. I get there doing a whole lot of stuff. But sometimes I feel like them that busy. I mean I have 3 weeks when me have my production to get done. So tell you what, me I go find some other people. And to work with the guys them here is like it's another headache. So, you know, what works for me, it works. Vladimir is doing a great job, bro.
So Serbia is an unconventional place for reggae. Where and how did reggae, this is the question, how did reggae become, in your estimation, this global phenomenon where the roots reggae is not even made in Jamaica alone anymore? You say you get in, I don't know of a reggae artist that tours Serbia. Bob Marley never goes Serbia. so like, how did that happen in your estimation from where you sit?
So you see, there's a thing called music distribution, which you already know. And if the artist can't reach there, the record is gonna reach there. And I'm sure there's a turntable. You feel me? It just I don't know how it gets there, but I know reggae music is a powerful vehicle that travels globally. And you know, and it is very influential. So wherever it hits, whichever ears it hits, it is going to do something magical. So maybe that's how it get there. Somebody just probably buy a record, travel from US, go there or something, or up on the radio station or something, my brother.
Now, the real question I really wanted to ask is about marketing, right? Because distribution is one thing, but if something never connect with Mr. Vladimir from Serbia and everybody that's in Serbia and France and all these places, it wouldn't make sense to them. So obviously the music is being marketed in that way. As you look at your new music coming now, who's your target audience? Where are you going for that ear to listen to Phil's new music?
I think they're to specifically pinpoint to say California or Europe or Africa. You know, it's reggae music, and what connects with one might not necessarily connects with all. You know, if Tom Stroke connect with these people and they're doing reggae, probably that's the voice they want to hear. I feel like this is something that we have to, you know, try feelers, put the music out, and wherever people gravitate to the music, you know what I mean? Especially like when you put out the music and you see like you do the Spotify promotion bit, and then you see, okay, you see Los Angeles, you see Texas, you see wherever. I think that is a smart means and ways for me to say, okay, Phil, you have numbers growing in these places. I think you probably need to target these areas, you know? I don't even know if I have the right answer, bro. But wherever, what you call it, the demographics, I think I probably need to go through and check the demographics and see it's working here. I have a higher number view here. I have a higher listenership here. So maybe I need to target here,
You told me about a song that you did that is sampled or stolen or ripped off or copied by Valiant and some other young artists. Tell me about that story.
So, okay. Jaja, boy. All right, Mr. Watkis. From Watkis to Watkis. We're going to have a conversation. So, 2018, I was on tour in Europe. That's when I opened for Taurus in this place there's this venue I opened for Taurus, Riley, opening act perform. So on that tour, I get a rhythm from my brethren. And the rhythm I get from my brethren was there, another brethren on the ends, and listening to the beat, the first thing came to me was Rasta touch, coconut, whatever, that kind of, but it's not really Rasta touch, it's Rasta F. You know the F word. Cool. Now, my brethren, Copper Cutty and Kid from Copper Shot Sound. Cutty and I grew up, by the way. They were here in my studio. And they were recording an artist. And when I hear the beat again, I was like, whoa, this sounds familiar. And I did the vibe. Rasta F. You know what I mean? That kind of vibe. They put it out on their statuses. They start sending out now a whole lot of group, asking people what they think, if they think the Rasta should voice this song, and a lot of people saying yes and yes and yes. So I did the demo, and they keep sending it out. Now, to get to the meat of the matter now, bro, the phrase in the song, in the instrumental, is the same phrase these people use in their beat. I know there's a lot of sample pack people using, but it's not a coincidence that you end up using the same phrase, just a semitone up in a different key with the tempo speed up.
Who are these people you talk about? Tell me who you're talking about.
There's some producer out there, and you know what I mean? There's some producer out there. You know what I mean? But the artist is obvious. It's Valiant that did the Rasta. Man, I live like Rasta. No beef, no pasta. Rasta na left them bitters. Coulda be as slim as Articas or biggers. Moses star. Convert sinners. Rasta man with the rod for your sit on. Rasta. You know what I mean? That kind of vibe. So
that was what you just repeated. That was your song.
Not a my song. But Valiant is, man, I live like Rasta. No beef, no pasta. You feel me? But I did my song from, 23? From 2022, November. And the man, them start share it on them Instagram story. Them a share it on them page. Them a share it all over.
Was that song ever released officially on streaming?
It wasn't released until the 23rd of March.
This year?
Yes.
So now both songs are out. What was your song called on streaming?
Rasta Touch.
And Valiant's song is called?
Rasta.
All right, so I'll let the viewers decide. But what are you gonna do as the original maker of that? How do you feel about him using it?
Big up Valiant. I'm an artist. I'm not busy matter about no dance check or nothing. The youth have talent. I'm loving melodies. Him actually come and him spruce up dancehall for a minute, because dancehall really that get walk with the killing and the this and the that, and him just bring a vibe. So I really like the artist. And what this does for me now is, in the event my song end up getting out there more popular, it has a space, it has something to juggle with. Cause man, I live like Rasta, no beef, no pasta. You can't feel what this thing are dropping. Rasta na left them bitters. Coulda be a slimmers. Same kind of vibe. It have a juggling partner. It have a song where it can juggle with. You know what I mean? The selector them can say, all right, no matter who follow who, energy them right. And even my boy, the song, what song, Bob Marley, can drop in the juggling too.
What do you think about the new set of artists, the new set of reggae artists first, and then the new set of dancehall artists?
Which new set of reggae artists? We don't see no new set of reggae artists. Who them?
The Chronics, the Proteges, the Leela Ikes, Toffee. Couple of artists there, man. Couple of artists are going on that thing. What are your thoughts on them?
Musically, the youth them creative, them have a vibe. Them have a vibe. You know what I mean? We are gonna deal with the music. I love Chronic's music. Chronics have soul. When you listen to his music, him have soul. I walk with the Savior each and everywhere that I go. Left, right. You know what I mean? That kind of vibe. Him have him like a vibe I go on. The other one them sound more hip hoppy to me. You know? More hip hop. Like the Kabaka them with the rap thing and the approach of the up in the independent, them kind of vibe, and we kind of get a more kind of rappy kind of vibe from them, man. You know? Yeah, the dance
Rasta rap.
Eh?
Rasta rap.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of rap it be, but
or reggae rap.
Yeah, I think it's a reggae rap. A more reggae rap. You know?
Which Sizzla did that, you know. Sizzla had a period where when Sizzla was signed to Damon Dash, Sizzla was things got to come my way. And he was doing a sort of hip hop vibe. Even Capleton was on hip hop beats. Up Tamala from Jamaica, Kafar Panto. That was a 90s hip hop beat that he dropped Tour on for the remix. And Tour was a successful tune.
I don't even want to try some politically correct, but I want to say it was with an identity. And once you hear it, you can tell that this is authentic vocals, dancehall reggae, on somewhat what you call it, a crossover type beat, as Jamaicans would have referred to. Yeah, man, them crossover upon the beat there, you know what I mean? But they were doing their traditional sound. After me left from Jamaica, go off a rin tour, preaching, teaching the people for sure. If you remove them, the beats from behind Sizzla or anyone of the Capleton song and put a traditional boop, 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 it automatically becomes dancehall again. You know? But them youth are definitely going in for that Yankee rap type of style. You know, not saying anything is bad with it, because art is a creative expression, and however you feel to convey that vibe, nothing is wrong with that. And me is not the type of person who beat down art, because sometimes may have some style where them say it's eclectic or it's strange or it's different, and it's not, so common amongst the Jamaican diaspora with the talent, where art is concerned. Do some different kind of stuff too. You know, but me love the creative vibe, so nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. In terms of dancehall itself, what do you think about the content of dancehall and the new dancehall acts?
I think about it really careful. I don't want to be a hypocrite, and I don't want to be bashful. Every generation go and develop them own style and them own sound. Now, I always say this to people. Coming from the ska era, because I think that's our first popular music. Was it Mentor, then ska, or however it worked? And then, the rock steady, and then the roots reggae, then comes Willie Lindo with the tum 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 tum, more dancehall type reggae. And the point that I'm trying to make is, I can imagine how those people felt when it moved from Mentor to ska. And I can imagine how those people felt when it moved from ska to reggae. You understand? So it must have, they must have wondered, what the hell are they doing? And when dancehall moved from follow me go boss blank, follow me go boss blank, follow me go blues blank, no! And then the Ninja Man them come here with phenomenon one. I remember as a little tiny boy, my grandmother them used to say, this is garbage. What is? but it keeps on evolving and people learn to appreciate it as time goes by. But my only problem is the narrative of the message. The killing, the killing, the killing, the killing, the killing, the gruesomeness of the music is just like, it is scary, bro. It's like watching or visualizing a scary movie when listening to what the message or whatever say. You know, I know all of these dunce and all of them something about, the whole dunce thing is a street slang. Man dunce, and it's not something to be taken literally, but we know we're not gonna be hypocrite. The influence and the power what music have over young and impressionable minds, and as it relates to the creative sound, it kind of nice, probably to grow up on me. But then I realized that it doesn't have any lifespan because certain elements with the production is not there that to give it more potency than JR. If you get what I'm saying. So that is damaging to the music. The preset in the mixes, the whole heap of flare echo going over there and everywhere. After a while, it's just like it not holding a place in a value compared to a Dave Kelly or a Steely and Clevey production that's still to this day like a Shabarangs Dembow. You when you hear the drum kick and all the song mix, it still have that, you know what I mean? It forever, lifespan. I mean, lifetime values to it compared to these music now. It's like the song that come out mid last year is not the song you want to hear now. It don't feel the same when you hear it compared to something that you've heard from in the 90s, 98, 99, like a Playground, you know what I mean? You name any of them beat it don't hold the same value.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was rambling on and just not making much sense. Stop when me not make no sense, brother.
You're good, man. Speaking of Steely and Clevey, they have a big lawsuit now that they're suing for 56 songs that they said took their Fish Market rhythm made in 1989. And they're claiming rights from Justin Bieber, Louis Fonsi, Universal Music, a bunch of reggaeton artists. Do you think reggaeton should just pay up and nobody take this to court because them did take from dancehall? Or you think, say, let bygones be bygones and reggaeton is the future and every man should just latch on to reggaeton? What are your thoughts on the case is what I'm saying. Are you aware of the case?
Brother, it's not it's no rocket science or no genius or anything like that. What is due to the man that need to be given to them? If they want to settle outside of court and make it easier, or if they want to go to court, they need to settle and pay up. Man, them deserve them rights and them credit. Them hard-earned sweat, blood, sweat, and tears for them put into it. You know what I mean? Them need to pay up, brother. That is it. I don't know how you feel about it.
So
them need to pay up.
So you believe that all these songs, Despacito, etc., came from Fish Market rhythm?
And that is the rhythm. No, not that. That is when top 10 rhythm.
Dembow is a sample that morphed into Dembow. But Dembow was Bobby Digital, you know. Dembow was Bobby Digital, but Bobby Digital took from the Pokemon beat created by Steely and Clevey.
Oh, Pokemon Skang.
Yeah, that vibe there. And then Steely and Clevey's original beat is the Fish Market rhythm, which has a bunch of them early songs there from dancehall. But it's a big case now. One of the biggest cases in music. The final verdict will actually determine how music is sampled going forward because it will set a precedent for where it should go. Right. But the man them, the reggaeton guys are saying they didn't take anything and they are making millions, billions even from this music.
So it's just a coincidence, it's just a mere coincidence that they just so happily one day the ingenious in them said, okay, I'm going to make this pattern. And it so end up sounding like what Steely and Clevie and Bobby Digital and them man that they make. That is what happened. That's what they're saying.
No, I think a big part of it too is, you see, because it's Steely and Clevie suing, right? But that rhythm has morphed into so many different things, right? Kadembo, which came from the era, is produced by Bobby Digital, and record labels own Dembo. VP Records own Dembo. And that is also licensed to Warner, because VP Records catalog is distributed by Warner. So there's a lot of unclear as to who had the rights, who passed on the rights, and then for Universal to take it. Now we do know that it's from Panama that they used to redo English dancehall into Spanish dancehall.
Yeah.
And that's what became reggaeton. But I brought
it was called something else. It was called something else in Panama. That's what they call it. Them call it Dembo. What they call that?
Dembo is our genre. Yeah,
they call it Dembo. Yeah.
But I ask you that because I thought of that with the song you're talking about with Valiant, because it's a similar thing you're saying, where they would have taken your loop and your pattern and created a hit.
But you know what it is though with that, where it might not be that serious as it relates to the Phil Watkis Rasta Touch and Valiant's Rasta. Now, the producer for this instrumental, they all are using the same sample pack. You know? And what I'm looking at too is not just Kit being creative and saying that there is going to make this and Valiant them come with, you know what I mean? I wouldn't put it that serious as it relates to this Rasta vibe and the Steely and Clevie them kind of vibe.
Okay.
Because they all are using the same. No, today they're using the same sample pack, the same loops.
And you can't copyright a loop.
No. Because I think it's there for everybody to use it. But go back to the Rasta vibe, is just, I don't think it's a mere coincidence that we use the same loop and come with the same flow and the kind of vibe with the music talking about Rasta. I mean, I think that is a coincidence.
Okay. What are your thoughts about artists owning their brands and copyrighting the name? Not copyright, trademarking the name, etc. Have you trademarked your name? Are you gonna? And what are your thoughts on the business of music as a label owner?
I mean, that is how you're gonna create generational wealth from out of your dedication. That's how you're gonna create something and own some. You know what I mean? We see a lot of artists under Cox and Dad, them don't own anything. Not even the simplest thing as they're publishing or even copyrights for them own lyrics and stuff like that. You know, it's always great to own your brand and create estates and creating legacy out of it. You know? And as we all see what happened to the legend with his former producer or manager he was, you know? How they had to end up in court.
Who's
years
that?
Up on top of years.
Who's that?
Bob Marley and Chris Blackwell. We see how they end up in court. Years up on top of years. I don't really like call people name, but
the Bob Marley and Chris Blackwell thing was that when Bob died, the government was gonna take Bob's everything, but because he didn't leave a will, but the family got the first right to buy it. No, the family didn't have the money. This is what Rowan Marley told me. He said the family didn't have the money.
Oh.
And what happened was they went to several people to lend them the money to buy the rights because the government was going to take everything. And they went to Michael Jackson Michael Jackson actually wanted to buy all of Bob's rights because Michael Jackson was ruthless like that. And it was actually Chris Blackwell who loaned the Marley family the money to buy Bob's rights under the condition that he gets to administer the publishing and the deal. And he also retained 25% of it. So if it wasn't for Chris Blackwell, and this Chris Blackwell mentioned it in his book as well, but Rowan Marley confirmed it in an interview right here on World Music Views, that Chris Blackwell was actually who helped. And if it wasn't for him, you probably wouldn't have the Bob Marley Museum. You wouldn't have the Marley family owning the rights to Bob's image and likeness and all of his estate, profiting from his music, etc. So that story, I want to be clear on that, even in this conversation going forward, that it wasn't a court case with Marley versus Blackwell. It was more a court case with Blackwell and Marley versus those who were trying to take the estate.
Thank you for the clarity.
Yeah.
It's not the best of example trying to land a point to say it is important for artists to own, everything about themselves, the brand and all of that good stuff. But yeah, I do believe that we as artists, we should,
Yeah.
I don't know if you have something else you'd like to enlighten me on. Else in some aspect, art is always 100% or 150% good for us to retain all rights to everything.
It's definitely good, right? Because especially now, catalog. I was telling you that owning a catalog will benefit you more than selling one music. The more you build up your brand, the more you market and promote yourself, the more you get out there, the more people know Phil Watkis, and the more music that's backed by. It's like you make money. So your brand is the currency, and your music is what backs the currency, right? Like I spend money, but my money is supposed to be backed by gold. So imagine that music is the gold and your brand is the currency. Your brand is what you spend every day, and the brand can either increase in value or lower in value. But the music is what back it, which the music's value is increased. It's because of what music is. The intellectual property will only grow in value, right? Owning that is like owning gold in this time, because Wall Street has this interest in owning songs. So even as a songwriter, you could sell your rights to the songs that you own to companies like Hypnosis, another one named KKR, another one named Harborview Equity. Harborview is owned by a lady who is a second-generation Jamaican from Harborview, Jamaica, by the way. She got $1 billion to buy catalogs. And it's one of the things I was telling you, that building your brand, especially in World Music Views, because we're the only music business publication, and letting people know and see that you have a catalog of music that you wrote and that you own would be much more beneficial to you than selling one records on a streaming platform. But you have to own it. So what you don't own, you can't sell.
True.
You have to own it.
Like I see, what's his name? John Legend. I believe he sold his catalog the other day.
So, all right. So you understand.
Something million.
So he sold for like 40 million. Iggy Azalea sold for 10 figures. So Justin Bieber sold for 200 million. And it's not all of Justin Bieber's catalog, because Justin only sold the rights that he owned. Usher owned some rights that Usher sold his rights in Justin Bieber's catalog for 40 million to the same lady from Harborview. Her name is Cherise Clark Suarez. I'm interviewing her soon. 40 million just for Usher's share of Justin Bieber's catalog. Justin sold his to another person for 200 million. Despacito, right, the song that is at the heart of the lawsuit, a lot of people own piece of that song, and they're just selling off their share. If you write a little note, you do a little engineering, they're just selling off theirs. So your aim as an artist, right? As an artist with songs, well-written songs is to claim it, protect it, own it before it go out there, they register it. So one of the problems that you could avoid with this speculative Valiant thing is if you had released that song and protected it first, no one could question your ownership.
True.
You feel me? And
True.
that's the game. That's the game. My last question to you is, give me a top 5 artists of all time.
So we have Phil Collins, Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Prince, and Fela Kuti. Fela Kuti.
That's a nice little list. So yeah. would you go into doing Afro beats?
Most definitely. It's a vibe I love. I've been vibing with Fela Kuti since 2006, where I was introduced to Fela Kuti by this brother named Michael Bell. I call him Rebel. Yeah? He used to have my organized music, and then I hear him have the song him call They leave sorrow, tears, and blood. Them regular trademark. Somebody run, run, run. Somebody scatter, scatter. That is the king of Afro, the godfather of Afrobeat. And I was drawn to that music from them time. But then, the high life song what they have now, that fusion and everything, of course, it sounds good. It's a happy music, it's a fun music, and I would definitely I will definitely be doing some of that type of vibe.
All right.
I have one coming out.
Phil Watkis, we're expecting that Afrobeat joint. We're going to blast it. We're going to give you all the support needed. This is World Music Views. Thank you so much for coming on, bro.
Thank you for having me here, my brother. Much love and respect, man.